the janitor who saved the school. The first police car arrived at Jefferson High School at 5:42 a.m. Its flashing lights reflected off the empty windows of the science building. Principal Robert Hayes stood outside, pale and shaken. The school vault was open. The district scholarship fund, worth nearly $200,000, had vanished overnight. There were no signs of forced entry. No broken locks. No smashed windows. Nothing. Yet the money was gone. Detective Emma Carter arrived minutes later. She had worked dozens of cases in Chicago, but something about the scene immediately felt wrong. "Who found it?" she asked. "The janitor," Principal Hayes replied. Emma looked toward an older man standing quietly near the entrance. His name was Michael Brooks. He had worked at Jefferson High for almost 20 years. He looked nervous. But not the kind of nervous people showed when they were hiding something. More like the nervousness of someone who feared nobody would believe him. Emma approached him. "You found the vault open?" Michael nodded. "About 5:15. I came to clean the hallway before students arrived." "Did you touch anything?" "No." "You saw nobody?" Michael hesitated. "Not exactly." Emma raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "I heard footsteps around midnight." "Why didn't you report that earlier?" "I thought it was security making rounds." That answer seemed reasonable. Yet Emma noticed something. Michael's eyes kept drifting toward the science building, almost as if something there bothered him. Before she could ask more questions, another officer called her. A security guard named Tyler Reed had become the first suspect. Tyler had access to every building, and he was deep in debt. The evidence looked bad. Very bad. But Emma had learned long ago that obvious suspects were often innocent. She began reviewing security footage. The cameras showed Tyler entering the main office wing at 11:47 p.m., then leaving at 12:01 a.m. The vault was located nearby. Several officers immediately focused on him. Case closed. Or so they thought. Emma watched the footage again. And again. Something bothered her. Tyler entered carrying a flashlight. When he left, he still carried it. Nothing unusual. Yet the timestamp flickered briefly. Only for a second. Most people would never notice. Emma paused the video. The image skipped forward by almost 3 minutes. Someone had edited the recording. But why? Tyler denied everything. "I checked a broken smoke detector," he said. "You can verify it." The maintenance report confirmed his story. Emma removed him from the top of her suspect list. That afternoon, she interviewed teachers and staff. One teacher stood out. Linda Parker. She managed several scholarship programs. She knew exactly when the money had been transferred into the vault. She also knew who had access. But Linda seemed cooperative. Too cooperative. She answered every question instantly, almost as if she had rehearsed them. Still, Emma found no evidence against her. Later that evening, Michael the janitor approached Emma. "I remembered something." "What?" "The footsteps." Emma listened carefully. They weren't coming from the office wing. Where then? The science building. Emma looked toward the large brick structure. "Are you sure?" "Positive." That changed everything. The science building sat nearly 100 yards from the vault. Why would anyone walk there during a theft? Emma decided to inspect it personally. Inside, everything appeared normal. Until she reached Chemistry Lab 3. One chair sat slightly away from the others. Nothing strange. Except every other chair was perfectly aligned. Emma knelt beside it. A tiny scratch marked the floor. Fresh. She followed the scratch. It ended near a storage cabinet. The cabinet seemed ordinary. But when she moved it, she discovered something surprising. A narrow maintenance hatch hidden behind it. The passage connected to old utility tunnels beneath the school. Nobody had mentioned tunnels. Emma checked the blueprints. The tunnels stretched across the entire campus, including beneath the administration building, including beneath the vault. Suddenly, the crime looked very different. The thief may never have entered through the front doors at all. The next day, Emma inspected the tunnels. Dust covered most surfaces, except one section. There she found fresh footprints. Large boots. Security-style boots. Tyler Reed wore security boots. The discovery pushed suspicion back toward him. Officers moved to arrest him. But Emma wasn't convinced. The footprints were too obvious, almost as if someone wanted them found. Then another clue appeared. A school student named Noah approached police. He had seen Tyler arguing with Linda Parker 3 days before the theft. Now suspicion shifted again. Was Tyler blackmailing her? Was Linda involved? The puzzle grew more confusing. Emma reviewed financial records. Linda's finances were clean. Tyler's debts were real. Everything pointed toward him. Yet, something still felt wrong. Then Michael the janitor called Emma late one night. "I found this while cleaning." He handed her a small silver key. Emma examined it carefully. The key belonged to an old maintenance locker. The locker contained blueprints of the tunnel system. Someone had recently accessed it. Only 3 employees possessed matching keys: Michael, Tyler, and Principal Hayes. Emma felt a chill. Until that moment, nobody had seriously suspected the principal. He seemed respected, trusted, successful. But now questions emerged. She investigated further and uncovered something hidden. 6 months earlier, Hayes had secretly invested money in a failing business. The investment collapsed. He lost nearly everything, including much of his personal savings. Financial pressure, opportunity, knowledge of the vault. For the first time, Hayes moved onto Emma's suspect list. She requested his bank records. What she found shocked her. 3 days after the theft, a large payment had been made toward one of his private loans. Not enough to prove guilt, but enough to raise serious questions. Emma gathered everyone in the school library: teachers, staff, police officers, the principal, the janitor. Everyone. The room fell silent. Emma stood at the front. "I know who stole the scholarship fund." Eyes widened around the room. She turned toward Tyler Reed. "You were framed." Tyler looked stunned. Then she faced Linda Parker. "You were never involved." Linda exhaled in relief. Finally, Emma looked at Principal Hayes. His face remained calm. Too calm. "The money was stolen through the utility tunnels," Emma said. "Someone edited the security footage and planted evidence pointing to Tyler." Nobody spoke. Emma continued. "The clue that solved everything was the footsteps Michael heard in the science building." She pointed toward Hayes. Only one person knew enough about the old tunnel entrances, had access to the vault, and could control which areas of the school received attention. Hayes remained silent. Emma stepped forward. "You moved through the tunnels. You opened the vault. You edited the footage. Then you planted evidence to frame Tyler." A bead of sweat appeared on his forehead. The fresh boot prints weren't Tyler's. They were planted later. "And the key Michael found led us to the tunnel blueprints." The room was frozen. Emma delivered the final piece. "You made one mistake." Hayes swallowed hard. "What mistake?" "The loan payment." Emma held up documents. "The stolen money wasn't spent directly. It was moved through an account owned by your brother before reaching your lender." Hayes' expression finally broke. Everything connected at once. The edited footage, the tunnels, the planted footprints, the argument between Tyler and Linda, the rehearsed answers. Every clue suddenly made sense. Linda had seemed suspicious because she was hiding unrelated scholarship paperwork mistakes. Tyler's debts had made him an easy target. The footprints were a deliberate trap. The science building footsteps revealed the real route. The principal slowly lowered his head and confessed. The room erupted with shocked whispers. Weeks later, the scholarship fund was recovered. The students received their awards. Tyler got his job back, and Jefferson High returned to normal. One afternoon, Emma stopped by the school before leaving town. She found Michael sweeping the hallway. "You helped solve the case," she told him. Michael smiled. "I just remembered some footsteps." Emma laughed. Sometimes mysteries were solved not by dramatic evidence, not by lucky guesses, but by one small detail that everyone else ignored. And in this case, that small detail had exposed the person nobody ever thought to suspect.